Hello everybody, this is Purge, bringing you guys a patch review as well as a Battle Pass overview. I'm currently in a hotel, sorry the audio quality is shitty, but I'm in Thailand right now for GSC. I've got to work in about an hour doing some panel work, so if you guys want to tune in, you can go to twitch.tv/GES Championship, or you can go to my Twitch page. I have it set to auto-host, so if the tournament is going on, you should be able to see it there. That's the easiest way for you guys to be able to watch. So the Battle Pass is currently out. If you guys don't know what this is the way to spend money every year that gives you a lot of Dota items and also makes Valve rich and increases the prize pool of the international. So you can see it right here on the Dota 2 page. Here's the current prize pool. It's pretty cool. You basically spend money to get levels, or you can complete challenges in the game to get more levels. I kind of recommend starting off with level 75 if you can afford it, just because it gets you jump started and gets you most of the benefits. But you can buy additional levels or do leveling up while you play. I don't know that much about like Underhaul because it's not quite out yet, but we can Cavern Crawl is pretty cool. It's basically a way to get points and get levels while playing the game. You essentially get put in this like circle. You can see these like angular things. You basically start in a circle. There's 3 paths: support, utility, and carry. And every line you get 4 heroes that you could play. And let's say, for example, there would be like 4 heroes here. This guy decided to play Magnus. He plays Magnus, he jumps to here, and then his option was Dark Willow and something else. And he chose to play Dark Willow, which puts him here. And then he had the choice between 3 different paths, and he chose Leshrac, and then he played Chen, and he's trying to get all the way to this point, which would be the item slot. So it's a fun way to basically try new heroes, and gives you multiple options. If you really don't like Leshrac, for example, you could go this way around and then also beat Chen to unlock this the treasure reward here. And basically everyone you complete, you get at least 350 points, which is 35 100ths of a level. So that's one way that you can unlock things and get item sets. The Legion one is super cool. The Skywrath one, I mean, basically all the 3 sets are super cool. But that's one thing you can get even with level 1. Mutation mode, I tried one game of it last night. Basically, there's some weird effect in every game. Last night, the one we had was every time that you get a hero kill, your damage is increased by 20%, but the damage you take is increased by 20%. And when you die, there's a small explosion and you leave a little bag of gold on the ground. So it's kind of just like a different mode that's kind of fun to play with friends. It's kind of like weird stuff, and I believe it changes every day. That's pretty cool. In game, you can spray little sprays on the ground based on your level. There's a team challenge where you can spend a team challenge token to play against a squad that is better than you. It was very disappointing the first time we tried this. It was myself, Nahaz, Blaze, who works at BTS, and if you guys don't recognize him because he's a little bit under the radar. And I also had, who else? I think Owen on my team, aka OD Pixel, and there's the Scant. And we had already been having some trouble winning pubs with that particular 5-stack, and he's like, let's do a team challenge. And it was awful, dude. It was real heavy, and I played really well the first game. The second game I played like crap, so we lost both of them, and everybody was just disappointed. So do this with caution. You do have a chance to win more MMR, but it's basically like giving your opponents a slightly easier game. There's going to be cosmetics for lane creeps. I think they mentioned this earlier, but maybe it was like a stretch reward that never happened or something like that. Can't remember. The in-game tipping is really cool, actually. So you can actually tip people in the game rather than having to wait until after the game. You can do it during the game. So you can you can raise morale essentially, or show support for somebody. You have 10 per week. I accidentally spent all of mine in the same night. Not realize, I thought it was like a per game thing, not a per week. It has a per game and a per week. The per week is 10. The per game is 3. So it's definitely good to save these. And use them at good moments. Like, let's say, for example, if I'm playing a solo queue and my teammate's getting flamed or something, I might give him a tip or something to make him feel better or something. Or let's say somebody on my team, let's say the morale on my team is not very good, and one of my allies is kind of tilted a little bit. I'm going to give him a tip if he makes a really sick play, for example. So I really like this. I think this is kind of how tipping should have worked in the first place, kind of same as commands. It helps to have that in-game reward thing, in my opinion, and it shows you and your allies doing it, and you don't lose battle points tipping either, and the amount that you tip is based on what level you are. So for me right now, I think I have like a level 400, I think, and it's a 100 battle points to tip, so 1/10 of a level I can give. So that means I can give 10 levels, or 1 level per week. Yeah, I can basically give 1 level per week based on my tip stuff, so that's pretty cool. Role-based matchmaking queue, I know there's been some complaints about this so far, but they have this in some other games. That way, when you queue up for a game, you don't get into a game where like 4 of the people are best at support, and then they're forced to play other roles and have a lower chance of winning, which happens to me sometimes as a support player, but it's not that often because support is generally the most needed role, and higher level players will usually try to stick to cores because they feel like they have more control. And in those games, I usually have to play mid. I feel like when we have too many support players, I'll usually end up playing mid, and I'll play a hero that I'm comfortable with, like Razor or Viper, something that's like kind of tanky, not as mechanically difficult, as I'm not very good in that sense. But I think that part of the problem right now is that it kind of separates into people into queues. So if you queue for let's say if I queue for safe lane, and I find a match, I should know that I'm going to play safe lane. But the problem is that you can't put those people into the same queue as people that don't queue for lane selection. If you don't queue for lane selection and thinking like I'll play whatever role, then you're not going to fit into the other people queuing. So it again separates the matchmaking pool. So it's kind of bad technically. And I've seen complaints. I haven't played that much solo queue and I haven't tried it out myself, but that's kind of what I've seen so far. But I don't know what else to say other than that. For the average player, this is probably really nice. But for high MMR players, it's probably not going to be super useful, I imagine. Pro Circuit predictions. I haven't tested this or looked at it all. Battle Pass owners can now browse a web browser or mobile device to predict the outcomes of Pro Circuit matches for a chance to earn Battle Passes. That's awesome. So basically, you can, rather than needing like a desktop computer to do this, it looks like you can predict matches for, beginning with the MDL Major. I haven't even looked at this. Let's take a look. Okay, I would have to sign in. We'll look at that later. But basically, you can use it to predict games. That's pretty cool. And I assume you'll get bonuses. Yeah, I think there's like challenges like, oh, you predicted X games correctly, is probably how it works. Favorite team is going to be based on player cards. I really like player cards myself. I think it's like a fun little thing to do during the event. I would love to be able to update this without having to log into a desktop computer. I think having to use a PC to do it is a pain in the butt, personally, because if you miss the deadline, you are screwed and you don't get to have battle points for the day or fantasy points, and then you kind of end up not doing very well, which is a big downer. So prize pool community. This one is kind of cool. Basically, they're saying if the prize pool gets bigger than last year, everybody gets 10 free levels. And if it goes higher than 30 million, you get another 10 free levels. So every single Battle Pass owner might just get, I think it's pretty safe to say that we're going to have a bigger prize pool than last year, considering the start we've had in terms of prize pool growth. But 10 free levels basically to everybody, and a possible 20 free levels to everybody, which is kind of, this is a cool way, I think, to have a stretch goal. Be like, give everybody what they want. They don't want like one more thing. They want just more levels. I think that's a little bit safer because everybody will be like, yeah, I'll take 20 more levels. That just sounds good because you know it's going to give you a bunch of features, and it doesn't necessarily take as much planning for Valve. It kind of just like gives an encouragement on something they've already put work into making, instead of having to think of some like new, fancy, interesting thing that is a way to reward people. So I think this is a good idea for them. Arcana vote like normal, Q trivia like normal, token wagering like normal. You get more tokens the higher level you are. Recycling Immortals. I generally don't recommend doing this because in the past, I think TI5 was the one that I did this the most because I just wanted to get a level 1000 and I didn't want to spend more money. I recycled a lot of Immortals that were probably worth $2 to $3 each by the time they came off trade cooldown, and it would have been better for me just to literally spend the money because I think $3 per 2 levels is not worthwhile. It's probably more like, I think $10 gives you like 20 levels, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. So that's what, I guess it is $2 a level, huh? Yeah, maybe it was worth it. But I recycled a lot of Zeus Immortals. I recycled some Night Stalker ones, I think, even. I should have only recycled like crappy ones, but I ended up recycling ones, and it was a regret. And I'm almost ready to cash out. Last year I saved a lot of the Immortals that I had duplicates of, or what's the other, or like Trust of the Benefactor, like super rare things that have a chance to drop something really good. I've saved them for a whole year, and I'm going to sell those on September 1st when it becomes available, and it's going to help fund my future Battle Pass expenses, things like that. Riley's Battle Blessing is back, and the wheel spins rapidly. And obviously there's a compendium as well, which is going to cover the TI predictions and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of Immortals, of course. There's like 10 or 15. You guys can go to the Dota 2 page and look at all these, but I'm not going to bother because the Wi-Fi I'm on is a little bit slow. But all of them are pretty cool. Right now I have the Lich already, and I have the Golden Ricky. But I do not have the PA one yet, which is ultra rare. This one's super, super cool. This is her PA dagger. And obviously there's this like extremely, extremely expensive one that's worth like thousands of dollars if you happen to drop it. So if you drop that, don't trade it away right now, guys. Sell it for money, cash money. Immortal Treasure 2's later, and Immortal Treasure 3's later. So those aren't quite all out yet, but the Immortal ones are finished. Emblem of the Crystal Echelon. This is that super rare thing. This would just be on your hero all game. Chat wheel sprays are pretty cool. I think I'm around, I have up to here. All of the early ones are very like positive emotions, and a lot of the later ones are like flamey, basically. So you can really only flame if it's later. When you activate these, you put them in for your chat wheel, and it places it on a spray paint on the ground in front of your hero. I assume they go away over time. I think you can only do it every 1 minute and 40 seconds or something like that. We got more caster sounds again and chat wheel sounds, so these are pretty fun. Most of the favorites are back. I think pretty much all the big favorites are back, and there's a bunch of new ones as well. They're all really good. I haven't translated or looked up translations for the Russian and Chinese lines yet, but the US English ones are all really good. I was pretty happy with what everything was inside. There's a new map. There's basically a whole there's a whole load of stuff. Like if you buy a level 1 compendium, for example, or a level 1 battle pass, you are guaranteed one of each immortal, because you get one at each levels. So that's guaranteed. There's a pretty darn high chance you're going to be able to get up to like at least like level 20 or level 30, as if you play a lot of Dota. So you're going to get at least like 4 level 1 immortals, 1 level 2, 1 level 3, and all of these other basic benefits such as like I think you need a level 160 to get this. Oh, I didn't see this. I saw it in the battle passing. What does it say? To unlock the upcoming Lion Prestige item with custom Finger of Death effects and alternate unlockable style. Okay, so it's Finger of Death really. I wasn't unsure. But I guess they already have a Hex Immortal. They already have a Mana Drain Immortal. All that's left is what? Impale and Finger of Death. There's a couple of heroes that are like that, where they're almost out of spots. It's like all of your spells are changed, and there's not many options left over. There's a Meepo Announcer pack coming. These are the Trust of the Benefactor thing. This is the thing that I saved from last year. Because I basically already had all of the basics from the Immortals, I believe, last year. So if you open this and you get lucky, you get this chest instead. And this is super valuable because it drops one of these things. And these are all really expensive items. Some of these are extremely expensive, like the Dragon Claw hooks up there in the upper left. Those are worth like $900 a piece right now. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of these other items are also. I know the Drodo, the Druffin, is worth at least $400. I sold one 2 years ago, I think, that I got from TI2. A lot of these are very expensive items. So if you get lucky and you drop this extra rare chance thing when you open your Trust of the Benefactor, then you have an expensive item that I would recommend selling for cash money. I have 2 of these, I think, from last year, maybe 3, that I'm planning to sell in September. I assume they're not going to be worth a shitload, but I imagine they're going to be worth at least like $10 or $15 each, because there is that small chance of getting an extremely expensive item. And even these Immortals are probably not bad. And even within each of these Immortals, these also have an ultra rare item in each of them that give you a chance to open something really expensive. So the taunts are really cool in the compendium if you have any of these, but the Wraith King one is wonderful. I love it. I'm going to press that thing all the time. All of the taunts actually have been really good. I think in the past the taunts were a little bit sometimes mediocre, but lately they've been really making some cool ones. The PA one's cool. So many of these are cool. I just got the Tusk one last night, I think. What is this Legacy bundle? I don't know what this is. With new takes on 5 select items from previous Battle Pass Immortal Treasures. Interesting. I wonder what that means. That looks like Juggernaut. That looks like PA. This looks like Juggernaut also, if I'm not mistaken. This, I don't know. Huh. So this will be a special Immortal. I didn't even notice this before. There's a Courier that kind of changes and stuff. There's River Vials again. There's a bunch of like seasonal effects based on what level you are. It basically changes the colors of your animations a little bit for common items and stuff like that. Battle Point Tributes. These are good for like wagering bonus points for your team. There's Dota Plus rewards. So if you have Dota Plus and you get a Battle Pass, there's actually some bonus benefits, which I've been really liking. For somebody that has now, at least this year, I'm spending a lot on my Battle Pass. Oh, it's raining a little bit. So basically, like sometimes you'll just hit a level and all of a sudden you'll get 5,000 Dota Plus battle points, this is 5,000 battle pass points, so the 5 extra levels, and you'll get 5,000 shards. 5,000 shards is one of the basic stat trackers, and 10,000 shards would be an advanced one. So if you get 2 of those, boom, you get an advanced skill. I've been putting them into Undying lately because I've been really enjoying playing Undying. So Dota Plus rewards that are tied in, that's pretty good. It's basically like benefits for the other stat tracker, and you've got wards and sound packs and stuff like that. There's a whole lot of stuff. So yeah, I think the battle pass seems pretty cool. I'm excited for the items, and that's about it. I was thinking about doing a patch video here, but I think I'm just going to add it on to a separate video since I spent so much time in the battle pass. So thanks for watching, guys. And if you want to check out the new patch, take a look. Just go find it.